Hey everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 71459, the stable of the dream creatures from the LEGO Dreamzzz theme. This set contains 681 pieces, 4 minifigures as well as 3 tiny figures, and it will retail for $79.99 in the US as well as $84.99 in most places in Europe. This set was of course sent to me early by the LEGO group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. Every LEGO Dreamzzz set includes some sort of alternate build, and I will be covering both builds in this video, so make sure to watch all the way through if you want to see how the different builds look. And go check out my channel after you're finished with this video to see my early reviews of all the other LEGO Dream sets. But now, with all that being said, let's get into the review. So here's the stable of the dream creatures, and this set's just very pretty. Lots of fun colors all throughout. I especially like the orange roof on the building. Yeah, you've got lots of this different foliage all surrounding this giant house in the center, so let's take a look at everything up a little bit closer. Starting on the right side, we have a tree growing out of the ground right here, and you can see it's got like these teal and blue leaves on it. These actual leaf pieces are all new for this wave, and I think they work really well. It's always nice to see new LEGO foliage parts, and I feel like those could be useful for customs in the future, and I'm excited to see what other colors that part's going to come in other themes. But yeah, then we just got a bunch of these little blue flowers right here. And then you can see there's a fence circling this area. Now that's on both sides of the build. You can rotate this out and change how it's positioned if you want. Then coming to the first part of the building, you can see there's lots of these like gold checkered windows all over the place. The window at the front can actually open up, which is very nice to see. And then there's stickered pieces with like vines growing up them, and that just adds to the overall very whimsical feel. The roof here looks gorgeous. I absolutely love the colors they chose. The normal orange with the dark orange just fits together so well. And you can see behind the roof there's two of those all new Power Blast pieces coming out. Now these are all new parts for this wave of LEGO Dreamzzz, and they come in like almost every set this wave in a few different colors. But the way they're used here is actually super unique, because in most sets they're just meant to be like blasts. Like specifically this color is used in the Z-Blob the robot set to be like a blast of green goo. But here instead they're just kind of meant to be trees, right? They're just like trees growing out behind the building. And I think that works so well. These little like ovals, which typically look like a splatter effect, look more like leaves here. So the use of those parts in this way gives this build such unique identity. I really love that. Then coming to the center of the build, there's a few more new parts used in very interesting ways. Starting off, you can see there's those all new leaf pieces again, though this time in tan, to make like a little windmill in the center of the building. That can be rotated just by spinning it at the front right here, or if you want to make it rotate sort of on its own, you could spin this piece at the back instead, and the windmill at the front will actually move the opposite direction of however you're moving. Then there's these all new green tendril pieces, and these are another new part for this wave, and I believe this color is actually exclusive to this set. And just like as detailing for the side of the building, I think these look incredible. My only arc with these is they're not symmetrical on both sides, so you can see some of them have these little holes in them and others don't. And that's just a little disappointing to see. There's a lot of LEGO parts that are like this, but I don't know, it's really obvious on these, so I kind of wish there was a way to fix that. But unfortunately that's not the case, that's just how these parts were designed. But I definitely would have preferred if they either didn't have holes on both sides or had the holes on both sides, because I will say the inconsistency here does really hurt the overall look of everything. Then here's a little doorway at the base, so this is just adorable. I like the teal piece of the door, and it's got a little flower at the front to actually open it up. But other than that, there's just more of those windowsills with little plants growing off of them. Not too much else to say on this part. Oh, I almost forgot to mention the roof here too. The shape of this is incredible. It's just like this very slight curve that comes down both sides. And there is some small gaps, but it's not like super jagged. That's just a really nice shape to all of that. And I like all the circular tiles on top too in the different colors just to create a smoother transition. Then coming down to the left side, you can see the roof here is pretty much the same as the right side, though instead of those giant tree pieces out the back, you have these two blue flowers. I like these too. Again, they're just like wacky whimsical plants, and definitely fit the whole idea of the LEGO Dreamzzz theme. Moving down, you can see this is actually a little stable for the cactus cat in this set. There's a stickered part up there that has a picture of the cactus cat on it, which if you're not sure what the cactus cat is, it's this guy right here who is awesome. I love this build. Now this guy does come in one other set this wave, so he's not exclusive to this set, but is this not the cutest build you've ever seen? He's just got a printed cat face on top, and yeah, he's a cactus in a pot. I don't believe this guy's appeared in the show yet, so I have no clue what his deal's gonna be, but I find it very funny that he comes in more than one set. And yeah, the stable's where he's meant to be kept. There's also this deer build of this set, which we'll take a look at in a moment, and when these sets were revealed, I assumed the stable was meant to be for the deer, but as you can see, the deer is significantly bigger than the stable, so you can't really fit it in there. So with the sign at the top and the fact that the deer's too big, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a stable for the cactus cat. And then coming to the very left side, you can see there's another one of those gate builds, again using those ladder pieces, and then there's two giant stalks of wheat right here, which I actually really like that build. The use of like that eggshell piece is super creative. Very well done. And then they just use the Harry Potter candle pieces for the stalk. There's an axe accessory on the side right here which just connects on with a clip, so you can remove that and give it to a minifigure if you actually want to chop down the wheat. And then here's a look inside the stable. You can see there's a water bottle on the wall, I guess what's meant to be a little litter box, and then there's a bag piece with these two yellow rounded tiles inside, and I'm not sure exactly what that's meant to be, maybe some sort of food, but I'm not positive on that. There's also a sticker on this wall right here. It's made to look like a plank of wood with something etched in it, and in the case of this sticker, it's two of the Dreamling Mushrooms that come in this set. Now moving over to the room in the center, you can see there's this ladder that hangs down to give you access to the upper level, but I'm going to flip that up right now so we can take a better look at the lower level. We have another sticker on the right side here, which is very similar to the one we just looked at, but this time it's got a little drawing of Z-Blob at the top and it says Mateo was here. And there's another one on the other side, again in a very similar style, though this time it says Izzie at the top, and it looks like she's drawn a picture of Buncho at the bottom. But then actually looking in at the interior space here, there's a few different things going on. So obviously at the back right here, this is the door that opens up to the outside. side. On the side right here, there's an oven and stove build. You can see there's a pan on top of the stove, as well as a little broom on the wall to clean up. Here we have a box, and if we remove it and dump it out, you can see there's just Lego scissors inside. And hidden behind that box, there's a yellow lamp. In the center of the floor, there's a stickered carpet piece, which has a really beautiful design. I like that a lot. I feel like you could probably use that in a mock if you wanted to. But now flipping that ladder back down and coming up to the level above, on the right side there's a bag piece and two more of those yellow tiles. Again, I'm not sure exactly what those are supposed to be. I guess it's probably supposed to be grain, right? From grinding up the wheat. Yeah, this is a windmill. That would make sense. And there's another crate on the other side, and inside of that, we just have the classic Lego baguette piece. In the set of everything, this is where the functionality for the windmill is, so you spin this piece at the back, the windmill at the front spins. And you can see the part that spins actually has a printed tile on it. Now that's the printed Dream Chasers logo, which does come in a few sets this wave. However, it's not every set, so it's definitely nice to get here. And yeah, as I mentioned before, that entire function is just very smooth. And then finally for this area, there's a few stickers on the wall with like shelves on them. Starting on this side right here, there's a photograph of two of the mushroom people, as well as like some wheat in a flower pot, and then what I assume is a bowl of something made with the wheat. And then on the other side, we have one of my favorite Lego stickers ever. This looks to be a little rack, and it's got stuff hanging off. There's a bag with a rat coming out of it, as well as some sort of scooping tool. Then there's a mug at the top, but the best part is that guy right there. That looks to be a little plush keychain or something of the cactus cat, and the way they designed that is just so cute. I love that so much. Just look at him. Anyway, now moving back down again and coming to the final area on the left. Once again, we have a sticker that's etched in wood, and this one has the Dream Chasers logo at the top, as well as just 3 Z's at the bottom. Because I don't know if you guys have forgotten, but this is a LEGO Dreamzzz, and in case you didn't know, LEGO Dreamzzz has 3 Z's in it, so make sure to remind you every time they can in the sets. Anyway, the building in this room's cute. It's just like a little table to have a tea party. You can see there's a teapot and 2 teacups, and then 4 total seats to house figures. And there's that window at the back that I mentioned can open up. And that's about it for the build of the stable of the Dream Creatures. However, of course, that's not everything in this set. We do have the alternate build to look at, but first let's take a look at the side build of the deer. So here's the deer side build, and I really keep going back and forth on this one. I can't tell if I like it or I don't like it. It is very much a mixed bag for me. I really like how these guys look in the show. I think the idea of like a green plant deer is so cool. It's very like Pokemon-esque. And like if you look at the illustration on the front of the instructions, like that looks amazing. My issues with it come down into its translation into Lego form. I think the biggest thing for me is the thickness and shape of the neck. I don't know if the pipe piece was the right decision there. And then also the face. This face works if it had a properly thin neck. But if the neck's gonna be this thick, I kind of wish the face was bigger too to match it. I also kind of wish there was a proper mouth here because there's like printed eyes and everything, but yeah, just a nose at the front. And that just makes this entire build feel a lot less expressive. So yeah, I don't know about this one. You guys have to let me know in the comments what you think of it. Moving to the parts I like though, I love the antlers at the top with the coral pieces with flowers coming off of them. I think that's so creative and fits this build so perfectly. Each individual antler can move a little bit if you want, and those eye pieces, as I mentioned, are printed and they look fantastic. The head on the deer can be rotated a full 360, and then the neck connects onto the body on the mini ball joint, so there's a huge range of motion there. You can turn that all the way around if you want. Funnily enough, I think having the pipe inverted actually feels a little bit more natural. It still doesn't look like the skinny deer in the instructions, but this makes the build maybe look a little bit more like a moose instead of a deer, so that's an option you have if you want. But then moving to the deer's back, you can see there's a saddle right here where you can set a minifigure if you want, a sticker with some leaves on it just to show that, yeah, this entire thing is meant to be plants, a few more of those pink flowers coming off the sides of the legs. I do like how fluffy they made the chest of the deer look as well as the sides, and it's got like the tiniest little tail at the back, and then each individual leg's on one of these hinges, so you can move them out if you want. They're unfortunately not able to move back at all, but you can move them forward. The inability to move the deer's legs backwards means you really can't get it in like a proper running pose, but you can put it in a walking pose like this where only 2 feet are touching the ground. So yeah, I don't know about this build. I liked the creature when we saw it on the show, and then set pictures were revealed, and I'm like, I don't really like that. But then the first time I built it up, I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. But then the more I look at it, the more I remember I didn't like it. Definitely a very creative idea, and there are some cool printed and stickered parts here. So if you wanted to customize this and make it your own, you could potentially make it look better. But I just feel like the proportions are off. The body's very blocky, including the legs, and as I said, the neck to head ratio just feels wrong. But now, coming back to the instructions, as I mentioned, this entire cover is illustrated, which is so nice. They do that with all the LEGO Dream sets, but it just makes the entire building experience feel so much more fun. And there is, of course, an alternate build in this set, and the alternate build in this set has to do with the foliage, both on the deer and on the building in the main set. And in my other LEGO Dreamzzz reviews, I've been rebuilding into the alternate build off camera, just because it takes quite a bit of time. But the actual transformation from the main build into the alt build in this set is super easy, so I'll actually show you how to do it on camera. You just start off by removing all the different pink pieces from the deer, or I guess pink and magenta pieces, so those are the flowers on the sides, as well as the antlers on the top. Then coming back to the stables build, remove these 2 leaves from the tree, as well as these 2 green pieces, then remove every single one of these little blue flowers. Just like that. And then finally, for the deconstruction part, remove these giant blue flowers from the other side. Then once you got that all done, you just reattach these plant stalk pieces right here. That makes this part of the build very boring, but oh well. With the tree on the other side, move this brown piece to the back, put those magenta leaf pieces from the deer back onto the tree, as well as the coral pieces from the antlers onto the tree as well. Then with the deer, attach the blue leaves where the pink leaves used to be, Of course, there's a total of 4 of those. The bigger leaf builds are then attached to the sides of the saddle on the deer, so that way it gives the build like these plant wings. And then finally the blue flowers are attached in place of the antlers. And yep, there you go, there's the all build for this one. There is no proper rebuilding in this set. It's just moving a few pre-built parts around. And I think between the two, at least on the deer, I definitely prefer this one. Obviously the giant leaf wings on the side give this guy more dimension than he had previously, but I don't know, I think blue and green just go together really well. And this is just a very pretty option, I like this a lot. But then on the main build, it's definitely a downgrade. I mean, the pink and magenta tree is fine, but the blue one's definitely prettier in my opinion. However, the biggest difference is definitely these plant stalks on the back, because yeah, what even is this anymore? Those blue flowers here definitely look a lot better. So yeah, while it's entirely up to you which one you want to build and very easy to switch back and forth, personally I think the main build overall is better because the deer's still good and the stables look fantastic. While in this form, the deer maybe looks slightly better, but the stables look significantly worse. Regardless though, it's really not a huge deal either way. But I think that's about all I have to say on the build of this set, at least for now. We'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video. So now let's take a look at the minifigures that this set comes with, and then I'll give you my overall thoughts. So here is Izzie and Zoey, the first 2 minifigures in the set, and these are 2 of my favorite minifigures of the entire LEGO Dreamzzz theme. However, there's one pretty big issue with these 2, and that's that this is just not the complete version of either of them in this set, and that is so disappointing to see. If you don't know what I mean by that, in other sets, Izzie comes with a waist cape as well as an armor piece, and Zoey comes with a cape piece or a quiver, not both. But yeah, they don't have any of that in this set, and I don't really know why. Now this is the only LEGO Dreamzzz set that doesn't come with any villain minifigures, so I suppose that's probably why. They're not like ready to fight, this is just like a very casual fun set. But I don't know, for the high price of this set costs, I kinda wish you got the good versions of these guys. Because the complete version of Izzie only comes in 2 sets, and the complete version of Zoey only comes in 1. So yeah, the fact that you don't get either of them here, that's definitely a little bit disappointing, especially with how good these minifigures are. But ignoring what we don't get here, what we actually do get here is pretty good. As I mentioned, these are my 2 favorite figures of the entire LEGO Dreamzzz Wave, and even with some parts missing, they both still look fantastic. The highlight on Izzie is for sure that hairpiece. I love how it's still molded in like the sparkly pink and sparkly blue. Those 2 colors just create such a unique look together, and especially looking at them in like bright light like this, it looks fantastic as a part. Solid face print on her too, not my favorite, but it's good. And then a torso print I really like too. I love how armored it is, and the bright orange is a fantastic color, and it surprisingly fits really well with the lavender. Turning around, you can see back torso print's a lot of the same, and there's her alternate face too. Love that alternate face with just like the happy laughing smile. And really good leg piece with the dual molded legs and like the lavender and the light blue. I'm really happy that they made dual molded legs so common for this theme. And then Zoey, once again, incredible hairpiece. Not dual molded like Izzie's is, but I think that's fine. So much texture to it too. I love how it's parted to one side, and the purple is just such a fun color. One of my favorite parts about her is the face print though. She's got like metallic pink for her lipstick and her eyeshadow. But then her torso and leg print are incredible. I just love the colors used. Gunmetal gray, dark blue, and lavender. It all just meshes together so well. And in universe, Zoey's meant to be like an archer. So having like little leaves on her and whatnot, and, like the scarf on the side fits so well. And then turning around, you can see there's a lot of the same on the back torso print. And the alternate face I don't think is nearly as good, but still a nice one to get. I like the colors. Just the expression doesn't fit her the best in my opinion. So yeah, 2 fantastic minifigures all around. I wish we got the complete versions instead of these incomplete versions, but even still, what you get here is pretty great. Then here are the next 2 figures in the set. We have Cooper and we have Mrs. Castillo. Cooper unfortunately is also incomplete, not as incomplete as the other figures, but this outfit is meant to have an alternate mask piece, and he just doesn't come with that in this set, so that piece remains exclusive to the crocodile car set. Still though, the rest of his design's alright. He's my least favorite design of all the main characters of this wave, but that doesn't make it bad by any means. I like the white stripes that come down the back of his torso, and you can see he's got like this race car driver uniform with the Dream Chasers logo in the center. But yeah, I don't know, personally I find the whole aesthetic a little bit boring, especially compared to the other minifigures. Really like the LEGO Batman movie belt piece of blue though, that's a fun recolor. And then he uses the LEGO Ninjago movie J hair piece of bright yellow, which is another really cool part to get. His face print's alright with like the tiny little smirk, and you can see alternate face turned around, he's just like sleeping and he's yawning. And then Mrs. Castillo is a surprisingly common minifigure for this wave. She comes in a total of 3 sets, and she's a very weird one too, because she uses this all new body piece with like the LEGO Super Mario character arms on the sides. Something I noticed in my last review, and it doesn't pick up super well on camera, but she's got like this little lotus flower design in the bottom corner of her torso, but that is really subtle but also a really nice touch. I think her face print is adorable. She's just like an old lady with these red glasses, and you can see she does have an alternate face where she's like smiling and laughing. The bag that she has on her back is brick built, and you can see she comes with a staff with an hourglass on top, which is similar to the staff that she comes with in other sets. However, it is a slightly different build with a green leaf on top. So yeah, overall I'd say these 2 minifigures are pretty good ones. Cooper is nice to get because he's a relatively uncommon character. Do wish it was the complete version of him, but still nice to have a way to get him. And then Mrs. Castillo is of course always nice to see. Then here are our first 2 tiny figures or midi figures or whatever you want to call these guys, and these are 2 Dreamling Mushrooms. These guys I thought were super weird when they were first revealed, but having them in hand I actually think they're kind of cute. You can see they have printed disc pieces on top of their heads with like little mushroom tops. That's a very useful part to have for like mocks. And then their face prints just have like these gold spores on them and like this very happy expression, and you can see those gold spores continue around the back. The printing on these two is exactly the same. So yeah, I don't have a ton to say on them because they are just tiny and weird, but I'm happy you get two of them here, and I have to admit, I do kind of like these figures. And then the final figure in this set is Z-Blob, and it's a bit weird that Z-Blob comes in a set without Mateo, but yeah, this is the actual figure version of Z-Blob, and I've covered him in other reviews. But he just uses that slime piece on his head, which is a fantastic part, and with that removed, he's literally just green with eyes. So I don't really have much to say on him because he is just green with eyes, but he is still a nice figure to get, I suppose. And so, overall, what are my thoughts on this set? This set's a very weird one to judge because it's so different from all the other LEGO Dreamzzz sets. I mentioned it real quickly when I was talking about the minifigures, but yeah, this is the only Dream set that doesn't come with any villain. So as such, I think it's meant for a different market than the other sets. It's not meant to be an action-adventure set. It's more made for kids who just want to have their minifigures, like, work on a farm. I think the actual building built in the set's really good. The foliage is quite pretty. I like the colors of everything. And even small things like the shaping on the roof or the tendril pieces out the front are just really nice touches. The deer, personally, I think could be better, though I could see how some people might like it. However, the price of this set definitely feels high. In terms of volume of what you get, $60 definitely would have been, like, too cheap, but $70 sounds just about right. $80 feels like it's asking maybe a bit too much, especially considering they didn't even give us the complete versions of all the minifigures in this set. So while I do like this set, unless you're like especially interested in this set in particular, I think there are other Dream sets out there that are just better choices to buy than this one. But if you find it on sale or you just want to get the entire wave, I don't think you'll be disappointed. But just in my opinion, if you're only going to get a few sets, this is probably one you can skip out on. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and go check out my other early LEGO Dreamzzz videos on my channel right now. But as of this video, I think that's about all I have to say, so thanks for watching everybody, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!